Beautiful. Glory to God in the highest.
I had to turn off the 747 in the background here in Studio G because it's so hot.
Oh, man. What's been new with you, huh?
Nothing.
Nothing, eh?
Same old, same old.
Emo? You ever listen to emo music?
No.
Sorry, I'm
Never once have I ever listened to emo music.
testing my mic here. Sounds good, I think. Could probably use a little bit more juice. Well, that's a good intro, I think.
At our standards for intros are different, so I'm gonna agree.
Yeah. Ba, ba.
There you go.
What is up, boyos? Welcome to the Jake and Cory podcast. I am Jake. That is Cory. What is up, Cory?
My credit balance for all the online shopping I've been doing.
Oh, yeah? What you been buying?
Crap that I just really don't need.
Dude, I feel that on such a personal level. I actually spent $150 on shit I don't need today.
Yeah. I think I read something about how people are, even though the stay-at-home orders are lifted here in the state of Arizona and the other states are starting to follow and phases are starting to happen as far as opening goes. There's still a segment of people that are, feeling like I'm feeling where they're not going to go back out yet. But what they're doing is they are splurge buying. Walmart and Target and Amazon has experienced a huge uptick in splurge buying. And I think it's only going to get worse because Amazon is starting to release non-essential products back on their website for purchase. So now you can buy some of the shit that you didn't really need, and now you can get it again. So I think they're going to see an
Could you
uprise
not
in that.
before?
There was some stuff that they took off that they wouldn't prioritize shipping. Like I ordered.
I see. Like they got rid of like Prime.
Prime has been dead since March, and because no one goes up against the mighty Amazon. Prime has been dead. I've gone from literally less than 24-hour delivery to 24-day delivery.
Oh, yeah. I've experienced some of that, too. Dude, the craziest thing happened. I was checking my bank account, and I look at my bank account, and it says, you have purchased Amazon Prime. I've never had Amazon Prime. I never clicked on Amazon Prime. I look at my Prime or my Amazon account, and it's like, you have Prime now. I never clicked on it.
That's $129, man.
Well, it was the monthly thing.
That's even more when you add it up when you tally a full year.
Yeah, it was like $14 or whatever. And I'm like, I never clicked on that. What the fuck? So I guess I have Prime for a month now.
I thought you were going to say that you had ordered something online and then it shipped like a week later and your account didn't have enough funds in it and you didn't realize that, which a lot of people don't realize, that you're not charged until the thing ships. So if their shipping is like
I'm well aware
a week, a lot of people aren't. And that's something else that's been on the rise since all this has been going on, is that people are like, they'll go online, or Amazon, they'll buy something. It doesn't ship until 7 days later. And within that 7-day time frame, they've spent that money. And then they wake up one morning and they've got NSF, non-sufficient funds in their account. And they're trying to figure out what the hell was it? And I'm like, you're not charged for Amazon products until it ships.
Well, listen, I'm going to have to side with Amazon on this one, because if you're that irresponsible with your fucking money, that if you look at your money and you're like, oh, I have $150 more than I thought. I mean, wouldn't it be like you knew you purchased it? Just look and
Right.
see if it went through. I mean, like how you have to be pretty dumb.
You do have to be pretty dumb, but with Amazon's shipping delays, I can
Yeah.
see how that is
Like it just
catching
slips your
people
mind.
off guard because of the shipping delays. You're used to that much. Like the shipping delays are kind of gone now. Like I bought something earlier today, and it said we'll ship tomorrow, and I'm like, or will be delivered tomorrow, and I'm like, wow, okay, let's see if that happens. And then I got the shipping confirmation email within a couple of hours of me ordering it and said that it's going to be delivered tomorrow, which means that I was charged today. Because when you get that shipping confirmation is when you're actually being charged. But with Amazon being delayed in their shipping, I can see how somebody could get caught up in that. You could just be like me and just have a lot of extra money in there, and that way you don't have to worry about it if, you get
Yeah.
billed late or something.
You could just be rich like Cory.
Yeah, not in the slightest, my friend. Not in this, dude. Summer's here, and the time is not right, and the bills go up.
Oh yeah.
The bills go
We live
up.
in Arizona, so like that air conditioning bill. Woo!
The bills
It's,
go up, and now that
it's a doozy.
now that the states are reopening, and airline travel is up. Of course, what follows? Gas prices are back on the rise.
Oh, of course.
So it's
Although
gonna
I
be great.
did see gas. I saw gas for $1.70
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
$1.70.
Go check it again today. I guarantee you, it's at $2.
Oh man. When I started driving in 2011, gas was $4.20. So this is nothing. This is fantastic.
I'm so old. I remember when gas was 98 cents a gallon.
Oh my God, you are old.
I remember I used to be able to fill up, and this was when I was in high school. I used to be able to fill up a 12-gallon tank on my 1984 Chevy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a Chevy something. Cavalier. It was a Chevy Cavalier. 1984 Chevy Cavalier. I would be able to fill that sucker up on change back on a $10 bill.
Cory's so old he remembers when they discovered oil.
Cory is so old. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. That was about to crack on myself. Cory is so old, he knew the dinosaurs before they became the oil that became gasoline.
Cory's so old he is both human and oil. I don't know if that works.
Cory is so old, his social security number is 3. You can't
Cory
beat me
is
at...
Cory is so old. He was born before God.
Cory is so old, when God said, let there be light, he screwed in the light bulb.
Anyway,
You can't beat me at the self-deprecation game. I make a living
it's hard
off
when
of
you're
it.
just doing it to yourself.
I make a living.
birds.
I make a living off self-deprecation.
Oh man,
That would make me a good comedian, right? Because comedians have really, really dark lives and outlooks, and they see themselves low.
I guess it really depends on what comedian you're watching.
Yeah, I don't know.
I suppose.
I only watch fat comedians. I don't think skinny, good-looking comedians are funny. Like one of our mutual comedian friends, Chris Delia, he's too fucking good-looking to be funny.
He is a pretty boy. You know, I've noticed an uptick these days in pretty comedians.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
I have.
Like,
there's no such
like
thing
the
as a good, pretty comedian.
Yeah, the popular comedians these days, they're all really beautiful. Like Chris D'Elia, Joe Rogan, gorgeous guy.
Joe Rogan's not that pretty. He's just meaty, but he's not pretty.
He's okay looking though. Chris D'Elia. What's that one motherfucker? Anthony Jeselnik. he's a pretty guy.
Yeah, there's a couple
I
of
don't know.
underground circuit comedians that I follow on Instagram in Canada, and they're pretty good looking. And I'm like, there's no way they're funny. And I've seen
But
some of their YouTube clips, and I was right.
what about Jim Carrey though?
Jim Carrey was never
He's a pretty
pretty.
guy.
He's never been pretty. He's had a dad bod since he was 20.
Yeah, he was kind of weird looking, I suppose.
Yeah, he's always, and that's his out. Fluffy, the comedian Gabriel Iglesias, funny as fuck because he's fat. Fat is funny.
Do you think he'd be less funny if he wasn't fat?
Yes,
You think so?
I 100% think so.
What if I told you he wasn't funny to begin with?
Then I could understand that. Trevor Noah used to be a comedian. He now
Yeah.
has a late tomorrow night show. He's
The
not
Daily Show, yeah.
He's not funny. He's too pretty.
But he was pretty when he was doing stand up too,
No,
wasn't he?
yeah, and he wasn't funny.
What about like beautiful women doing stand up comedy? Is that a deal breaker for you?
It's a deal breaker. Not funny. Pretty
So-
is not funny.
You don't like Sarah Silverman then?
No, she's too pretty. She's not funny. Roseanne,
Huh.
fat 1980s Roseanne, funny. Funny.
Oh man.
Bill
I gotta-
Cosby before he became Jesus Juice bartender, funny because he was ugly. He wasn't fat, but he was ugly. Richard Pryor was as ugly as a tree full of owls. Funny as
I was
fuck.
gonna say, I thought Richard Pryor was kind of a handsome guy.
No, you got your male good looking standards are really low.
What about Eddie Murphy? He's kind of a good looking guy too.
No, he's not. He's ugly.
Jamie Foxx, good looking dude.
Too pretty, not funny.
Shit. No wonder you find me so funny. Oh man.
Yeah, well, the secret's out now.
So I was watching Korean baseball today.
Oh,
We're all trying to kill the time, trying to find something to do, and I flipped over to ESPN just to see what they were doing, and I saw Korean baseball, and it was live. They were playing it live.
how did it
And
look?
it was an empty arena, but here's the weird thing. They piped in audience noise. So it was an empty arena with fake, like a sitcom, like fake audience noise, and then even behind the hitter, they had a like cardboard cutouts of people, but it looked like cardboard cutouts, like they didn't try very hard. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Like, why even do it that way at that point?
It's going to be very interesting to see how sporting arenas and large gathering places are going to be able to navigate this thing. It's going to be very interesting to see that.
Well, I mean, if if South Korea is any example, we shouldn't do it with what they're doing, because
I heard
I
that
feel
all the
like-
players were still wearing masks, and then half of them weren't wearing the mask, or they
I didn't
had
see
the
anyone
mask
wearing a
on
mask.
or around under the. I don't know, dude. Do you know what happens in the dugout of a baseball game?
yeah, they all make out.
No, that's the wrong video. A dugout of a baseball game is spitting. They got sunflower seeds. They got tobacco. They're drinking and
Yeah.
they're spitting. There is so many organisms. And where is coronavirus most transferred is through your expectorant, spit. Even the droplets when I'm talking right now. So how in the hell are the dugouts going to be deemed safe? Dugouts, literally, I've seen them at the Arizona Cardinals. Dugouts have drains in the bottom of them because at the end of the game, when all the seats are empty and the players are gone, the cleaning crew for the arena goes in there and literally sprays down the dugouts.
Well, you know how it becomes safe, and this is what the UFC is doing. It becomes safe by testing everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, they just have to test everyone. That's just it. If you want to play, you got to get tested. I know with the UFC, they tested everyone, and they actually even found that one of the guys had coronavirus and was asymptomatic. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you just test everyone.
How
That's the only way.
how fucked up is it going to be that if in 10 years from now we find out, and bear with me, 10 years from now
I'm barren.
we find out that the coronavirus was a hoax and it was
Uh huh.
all a ploy just to garner everyone's DNA that would allow them to map mind controlling medications into society.
Hell yeah,
What if this is all a hoax?
dude. I've got Alex Jones on the phone right now.
I've always been very protective of my DNA. It's the one thing that one thing that Big Brother can't get from you unless you voluntarily give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, they already have my fingerprints and shit. And
Yeah,
like,
but they
let's
have
be
your
honest.
fingerprints, but they don't have your DNA. DNA fingerprints, two different things.
Yeah, but like, let's be honest. Like, we're using some sort of face chat to talk to each other right now,
Yeah.
and they have our faces.
Not me. I
They
always
ha-
wear glasses. It throws it off.
Dude,
And now,
I
did you
think-
hear that
I think
Apple?
the technology is so good now. Like,
It's not that good because Apple just released an update for everyone that owns an iPhone that now allows you, because you can open the new iPhones with your face. And if you're wearing a mask, the new iPhone update recognizes that you have a mask on and automatically defaults you to put in the passcode. So the technology ain't that great, because if the technology was really that great, it should be able to read your facial features through your mask.
how would it do that though?
It's Apple. I don't know. Ask Jobs.
You're wearing
Oh,
a
wait.
mask. A mask is a little different than glasses.
So it shows that even with like Skype, or not Skype, what's that? Snapchat. Even with Snapchat, if you're wearing glasses or your face is augmented in some way, the facial recognition software doesn't read you very well. I wear glasses.
So hold up. I want to get back to your conspiracy theory before we get too far away from it.
Sure.
Because I'm very interested in this.
I was just thinking this the other day, and I was not high.
Imagine if you were.
It would have been great.
So what you're saying, and what you 100% think is true.
No, I don't think it's true. I'm just saying that what if, which is pretty much what a lot of conspiracy theorists do. What if? Because see, I've said this before. We don't do anything that doesn't make money. Somebody is raking it in hand over fist during this thing. We just haven't figured it out. And we've got Orange Face in the White House who may not be compliant or even aware of the conspiracy, but what he is a distraction. So who's to say that there isn't some technology that we're unaware of, that if they are able to send all of our DNA, because where do coronavirus results have to go? They have to go to the CDC. What is the CDC? A federal government public health agency, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then also look at the last few years, a product that has just blossomed out of nowhere. Ancestry. Everybody taking DNA and swabbing their drawers and sending it in. And then they're telling you that they can date your ancestry all the way back to the times where DNA didn't even exist. So figure that out. So if they get your DNA, they have a map to how you operate. That is pretty much what your DNA is. And when they're putting these coronavirus tests in your nose, to the back of your nose, that is your DNA. Mm-hmm. It's coming out on that swab, and then that swab is being sent to a federal government facility or a lab. You have no rights over what happens to that after it leaves your nose.
What
They
are
can
they
do
gonna
whatever
do
they
with?
want with it, just like they do with Ancestry.com, just like they do with all these DNA tests. That's what they do. So
What would they do with your DNA though?
your DNA is your genealogy map. It's a map of what makes you up. They can
Uh
tell
huh.
if you have mental deficiencies. They can tell if you're obese. They can tell if you're white. They can tell if you're black. They can tell if you're young or you're old. All of that is everything that is you, other than your spirit, is contained in your DNA. So who's to say there's
So
not
what are they gonna do with that though? What are they gonna do with that information?
who's to say that there's not technology out there that has found some way to map everyone's individual DNA that will allow them to control that person? And the way to garner the DNA of hundreds of millions of people across the planet right now is to fake a pandemic. And then they kill off a couple of people that were going to die anyway.
Now what if this is all a ploy, just to get everyone to get like a little chip, a little microchip
Again,
installed in their hand?
if they put it in you, they can control you. If they can
Hell
take
yeah.
it out of you, they can control you.
It's the next step, right? I mean, we already have a thing that's always part of us, right? Our cell phones.
Yeah.
They can always track us. Now, one step further is to just insert that into our body.
Well, that's another thing, too, that Apple is releasing in their new update. You can now, your Apple phone, if you get the new update, can now alert you if you've come in contact or in the area of someone that has been tested, that has been found positive for COVID-19. The new Apple update allows you to turn that feature on.
That's creepy.
That's creepy. So you're walking through the grocery store, pushing your cart, and then your phone goes ding, and it points and it says you've just encountered someone with COVID-19. Some people ain't gonna be able to mentally handle that, and they're gonna freak out, and they're gonna go all Westgate up in the grocery store.
Oh God, yeah.
But that's my conspiracy theory. If they can get it out of you, they can control it. If they put it in you, they can control it.
I mean,
Think
yeah,
about it.
that's everyone's goal, is control, right?
Yeah.
And there's always been that talk of a new world order, and the whole world seems to be on board with the coronavirus thing. So,
Well, you got the Chicago mayor over there pledging allegiance to the new world order.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was swirling around on the interhighway this last week. So yeah, that crazy heifer's out there doing that. I'm telling you, I'll be pushing up daisies before any of this happens. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. You know what? Kobe Bryant had it right. Sashay off the planet before all this shit hit the fan.
that's dark, man.
That was a little dark. I apologize for that.
Dark.
Please send your complaints to Jake at P.O. Box 99446.
Send your complaints to DT at Fat Guy Radio Show.
Yeah. Please don't. He gets enough of those. But that's my conspiracy theory.
Here's my conspiracy theory. All right, you ready for my conspiracy theory? You're gonna love it.
Sure.
Spirit
Well said.
Halloween stores.
Yes.
Spirit Halloween stores started COVID-19 to make businesses go out of business, so then they can buy up the empty space for this fall, so they can sell more Halloween gear.
I have a conspiracy buster for you. Kmart already did that for them. And now
They
JC Penney's just did it, and Neiman Marcus just did it, and all these other large department stores, because you're right.
Sears.
You're Spirit Halloween, they take over and consume every large vacant department store housing available. And you know what? They don't make it nice. No, it's literally
No.
curtain drapes so that they can have storage in the back, and then just a cash register and a couple of shelves with some mask on it, and that's it. And you know what? People flock into Spirit Halloween's headquarters every year.
Oh, that's like a breeding ground for COVID-19.
Oh yeah,
It's one of those
mask,
stores.
mask, 100% mask. You
Well,
put on.
they sell masks there.
I think I just realized who is working with Spirit
Oh, this is
Halloween
getting
stores.
juicy.
I think I just figured out who's working with them. Walmart.
It's Walmart, dude.
Wasn't it a few months ago where everybody was going to Walmart and grabbing those big animal heads and putting them on, taking a picture and posting them on social media?
I don't remember this at
and
all.
Those big, huge, like the tiger head, the bear head, and everybody was putting those things on and posting pictures on social media. And then
Like furries?
not like it wasn't like a full body. It was just the head. They were just mascot heads. And then those people were in there snotting all in those masks and then putting them back in the stack.
They were the ones spreading it.
And then when Halloween came around, those same people that liked those Walmart masks went to Spirit and got a mask.
Well, and just last year, we had that whole thing where people were getting arrested for licking the ice cream.
At Walmart.
At Walmart. It's Walmart, dude.
You know what? I was really nervous around that ice cream licking thing because I buy ice cream that doesn't have a seal on it. It's a boutique ice cream that comes in those little pint jars that are about $7 a piece. And I love those
Jerry's.
I love those. Not the Ben and Jerry's. It's another brand. But it's the same size as the Ben and Jerry's. But Ben and Jerry's has a plastic seal over them. These ice creams didn't. The ice creams that I bought didn't have a seal.
I've always felt weird about that. Like, why don't they have seals? Like, I feel like they should. Like,
well, here's the thing. That the reason why that and I'm going to break down the science. The reason why that ice cream thing went away very fast is because microbes cannot survive in sub-zero temperature.
Yeah.
So licking ice cream, yes, it's gross, but if they licked it, put the top back on, put it back in the refrigerator and that in the freezer, and that freezer got that ice cream back up to temperature, there were no microbes on it. There was no way that anybody could have gotten sick from eating that ice cream because it can't survive.
It's still fucking gross.
It's still nasty. It's still nasty. And I will say this: there are some microbes that can go dormant in sub-zero temperature, and then once they enter your body and they come back up to 98.6 degrees, they can reactivate themselves. So there's a risk for that, but that's very rare.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know even with COVID if it dies and
no, we just learned earlier this week that just actually a few days ago from the taping of this show that COVID may not be transferable on surfaces. Like,
really?
Yeah, because there was one report that was released last month that said COVID can survive for up to 24 hours on cardboard, up to 48 hours on plastic surfaces. And then earlier this week, the CDC says that those original reports weren't totally accurate, where they don't believe COVID can survive or can be transferred on a surface that, like, if someone has COVID and they go to the grocery store and they pick up a box of noodles and they decide not to buy those box of noodles and they put them back on the shelf, and then another customer comes up and buys that and grabs that same box of noodles and then, rubs their eyes, they're saying that original claim that it was transferable through an inanimate object may not have been accurate. But still, wash your hands. I've been putting my fruits and vegetables and canned goods through the freaking dishwasher, bruh. Anything that comes into my house goes through
that's probably worse for you than COVID.
No, anything that's been coming into my house goes through a desanitation process. I don't let my son get any delivery boxes or anything like that. I get all of those. I explained how I get an Amazon box. I take the products out, I desanitize it, and then the Amazon box sits in the garage for 48 hours. Before it's broken down and put in the recycle bin. Because they say 24 hours, I give it an extra 24 hours just to make sure.
But I heard that COVID in New York City, this was the rumor early on, was that it even went through the air vents, right? So when you're breathing, it goes to the air vents, and then your neighbors are getting it. And if your neighbor has it, you're going to get it through the air vents. And now that seems like a bunch of bullshit. And, it's not just like random people were saying this. Like doctors were saying this.
Yeah, it's bullshit
from crazy.
That was bullshit from the beginning. I mean, all of the what people don't understand is what the air has to go through when it's entering into your home. But then that was debunked when they realized that COVID only travels within 6 feet of everyone. Like when you're speaking, COVID is within the droplets of when you're talking. The little small droplets of spit that come out of your mouth, expectorant that comes out of your mouth. That's where the virus is located. And so if your neighbor is in their backyard talking, those droplets are just hitting the ground and dying. There's no way for it to be airborne in the air where it's going to catch a wind, fly up, land in your intake filters of your home, and make it through the process and then blow into your home. If that was the case, there'd be hundreds of millions of people dead right now.
Well, because there's a difference between droplet spread and aerosol spread.
Yes,
right?
and COVID is not aerosol. Yeah. It's not aerosolized, I believe is the term. It's droplets.
You said hundreds of millions more dead, but like, would there be? I don't know, man, because like there'd probably be more people dead if it spread that quick, but like it doesn't seem like it's. I mean, it's killing people, but like it's not.
It's killing people, but if it was aerosolized like that, we were talking about nuclear fallout of deaths. People would be sashaying off this planet in the hundreds of thousands every day, because that would tell us that we can't breathe. That means you can't breathe the air, which is what you can't do in a nuclear fallout. Like Chernobyl, you can't breathe the air in Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
And coronavirus is not that. It's all in your expectorant.
It's not going to be like the Spanish flu where 20% of all of the population died.
No,
I don't think.
No, but we're getting close to those fucking numbers, though. The population is a lot bigger than it was when the Spanish flu was around. But we're getting close up. We're getting close to those numbers, dude. We're about to crest the 6-figure number in deaths, man.
100,000, but we have so, like you said, though, we have so many more people on the earth now.
Right.
That 100,000 now means a lot less than it did
during the Spanish flu.
In the 20s.
In the 1920s, if 100,000 people died,
that is like 20%.
That's pretty much 20%, more than 20% of the population.
Yeah. But now it means less. So, I don't know.
It's like population inflation.
Yeah.
You gotta
we have
factor
had
the
population
numbers.
inflation. It's like the numbers are huge, but also our numbers are just huge regardless. Like
huge,
we just have so
big,
many
successful,
huge,
large,
big, Russia, China.
Man of the year. Man of the year in Michigan. Man of the year in Michigan. If this fucknut is reelected in November, dude, I swear we deserve whatever the fuck we get in this country.
Ooh, did you hear about Joe Biden going on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, and talking to Charlemagne MK46 or whatever. If you're not black, you don't know how to vote. Okay, listen. Let me tell you
your perspective on it.
Let me tell you what old Uncle Joe is. Number one, he's going to be another W. He's going to be another doofus. Okay, he's going to be an old curmudgeon doofus. But one thing he is not going to be, and listen to me, people. Do you hear me? Listen to me. One thing he is not Trump. Bottom line, he can be as dumb as a box of dead rocks, but he is not Donald J. Trump. Anybody at this point can do better than the shit that we've been through over the last 4 years. You can put Mickey Mouse's big toe in that white office and we'll be good. Joe Biden, he speaks out. He doesn't realize what he's saying. I saw him on Stephen Colbert the other night. He was half asleep. Uncle Joe needs his naps. We understand that. But listen, one thing he is not Donald Trump. Thank you.
Well, let's put this into context a little bit. Let's set up what he said.
I don't know exactly what he said. I just saw a little highlight on social media.
So basically what he said was, if you're having trouble deciding on whether or not to vote for me, and I quote, "you ain't really black."
Yeah. You know what?
That's what
him saying that gets my vote. Him saying that gets my vote. Because the reason why he's going to get my vote, he's not Trump. That's it. we could have an independent. I mean, I wish Mike Kelly was running for president. Mike Kelly.
I wish anyone was running for president.
Independent congressman here in the state of Arizona. Mike Kelly. His wife was a congressman that got shot down in Tucson. And he's the former astronaut guy.
Mm.
And I wish he was running for president because that dude looks like a smart cookie. But he's from Tucson, so he got some skeletons.
Who? Gabby Gifford?
Yeah, I think Mike Kelly is Gabby Gifford's husband.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
I know who that is. I know Gabby Gifford. Yeah.
But
my issue is, yes, he's not Trump, but he is Joe Biden, and he sucks. And take Trump out of the equation, okay? Just for 1 second.
We can't, man. It's impossible.
Just hear me out. Hear me out for 2 seconds.
And just
take Trump out of the equation.
Real quick, Mike Kelly is the husband of Gabby Gifford.
Okay, yeah, I know who Gabby Gifford is.
Yeah, that's her husband.
So take Trump out of the equation.
All right, Trump
for
is
2
out.
seconds.
Okay.
Let's say it's George W. Bush, okay, versus Joe Biden.
Oh.
Who are you gonna vote for? Who are you gonna vote for? God, they both suck.
Okay, so let me ask a question. Do we know what W is capable of, and do we know what Biden is capable of?
Well, I mean, it's Biden now versus Bush after one term of president.
Okay, so so it's Biden versus Bush, and Bush is the current sitting president?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my scenario for you.
Okay, this is your scenario. My vote goes for Bush.
Yeah.
My vote goes for Bush. They're equal on the doofus level though. And the only reason why Bush is getting my vote is because of how he handled 9/11.
The only reason Bush gets my vote is because, as far as I know, he doesn't have any allegations of rape against him. He also doesn't have any just tons of videos of him sniffing random people's hair and like holding children in a very not okay way.
Who doesn't have rape allegations against them? Who hasn't sniffed someone's hair awkwardly? You remember the last time you were here in studio?
Oh, come on,
You
Cory.
remember the last time you were here in studio? I sniffed your hair awkwardly when you weren't looking, and I'm still
not
running for president. I am.
Obama didn't.
No, Obama didn't. But he's creepy. But Jake, you can't get me personally. I don't know about anybody else. You can't get me off the fact that, yes, he is a hair sniffing, inappropriate, baby grabbing, creepy old man that speaks out of line at times. But what he is
It's
not
Donald Trump.
Trump.
That's
Bottom
true.
line.
But like, here's the issue. The issue isn't that we have. The issue isn't Biden or Trump. The issue is that these are our options, and this is what the system has given us.
Slim pickings.
This is
baby.
the issue. We should all be like up in arms about this shit.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
and people are just gonna be like, well, he's not Trump. Well, he's not Trump, but he is Biden, and he sucks.
Yeah, he's. You know what? It's almost the argument of the lesser of two evils. It's the argument of the lesser of two evils. Do we want 4 more years of this orange face rhetoric, or do we want 4 more years of creepy
Dementia.
dementia and creepy allegations? I mean, I'd rather have a president forgetting what he's supposed to do versus having a president doing whatever the fuck he wants to.
Listen,
That's where I am. And I'm not even a Democrat.
If Biden picks a good running mate, I will vote for him. If he doesn't, I'm jumping in the ocean. There's nothing left here for me.
Here's the thing: if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Exactly, because I'll be in the fucking ocean. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
You're
dude.
swimming with the fishes. See, you're gonna swim with the fishes.
This is the same exact scenario we had 4 years ago, only worse, I think.
Well, we had a career politician up against a fruit.
And now we have a career politician up against
A fruit.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, we've gone and I don't think the Bidens have. Yeah, they have been very political their entire lives. But one thing that
he was our vice president. You can't say he's not a career politician.
Right. Well, one thing that Uncle Joe has going for him is that he's got the kiss of the Obama. He's got the Obama kiss. Now, if he doesn't screw that up too much, he'll be okay.
Yeah, even Obama seemed like trepidation to give him his endorsement. Like,
well, he had
even
no
Obama
choice.
was like, "Yeah, I'll support Joe, I suppose."
If Joe traipses out Obama's, and I think another thing that's going to be on Uncle Joe's side, and I will call him Uncle Joe. The thing that's going to be on Uncle Joe's side is Jill Biden, his wife. That woman has a huge heart, and that family has been through some shit. They know some pain. They've lost kids. Joe Biden lost his first wife and
Her
daughter.
husband has dementia.
Her husband has dementia. So she'll be the one that will say, Joe, get your finger out of the baby's butt, Joe. Get your finger out of that baby's ass. That's not how you hug a baby.
Joe, when we said kiss babies, we didn't mean put their tongue in the mouth.
Joe, stop sniffing that woman's hair. No, Joe, no, your tongue doesn't go in her ear. No, it doesn't, Joe. No, you're the president, remember? President, Presidenten. Joe, put your pants back on. Come on, Joe, put your pants back. No, this is not strippy time. No. Yeah, we're going to need Joe Biden in there to corral old dirty
Joe,
Uncle
put your
Joe.
diaper back on.
Joe, did you go poopy in your diaper? Nope, this isn't a time to show me. I'm just asking.
Why is there poop all around the Oval Office?
Oh, put your little dangly Joe away. Put your mealy dangly Joe away. You put that right back in your pants. Yes, you do. Put your little Joe Cabasa back in your pants. Jeez.
Yeah.
We're good. But dude, I'd rather have dementia than dictator.
That's true. I hear what you're saying. I really do.
That's where I am. And I hear what you're saying. You're 100% on the money. This is what we have to pick from. This is the pick of the litter, because the ones that could have done something, the ones that could have, like a Kamala Harris, or that
Yeah.
that Asian descendant guy that you were going
Yeah.
for early,
Andrew Yang.
Andrew
Yeah.
Andrew Yang. We can't. They can't afford to get on the ticket. That's where that falls. They can't afford to get on the ticket. It was
Well,
money that took them out. It wasn't their policies
they're
or their
also
politics.
they're also just not in bed with the DNC.
They're not.
You
And
know?
that's what's going to be the saving grace. Somebody, and here we've had it happen before. Someone that's not in bed with the DNC or the RNC. And we see where that has led every year. It started with Ross Perot. Remember that guy with the big ears? It started with Ross Perot, and then the modern day Ross Perot was Bernie Sanders. Neither one of those guys would get into bed with the RNC or the DNC, and they threw millions and millions of dollars at the campaign, and it never amounted to anything.
Yeah. But then,
So
Bernie went on to endorse Hillary. He went on to endorse
he ran
Biden.
out of money again. They can't afford. We can't afford to get them there, and they can't afford to get there. So the people that have the smarts to do this job, that would probably lead this country, and one thing about the United States presidency, it's not about just leading this country. The presidency has been all about leading the world. The office of the president is a world leader, and now we got the fruit in there shoving his way to the front of the line when he's gathered around other world leaders. That's not how you do it. That's not the proverbial way of getting to the front of the line. You do it through leadership. And we had that with the Obamas. We had that with Bush. We had that with Clinton. We had it with Reagan. We've lost it. So now we're stuck with dementia or dictator. One or the other.
Well, and then all these news organizations are all in bed with these people too. I mean,
yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, man. It's freakishly uncomfortable.
I wouldn't be surprised if Fox News and MSNBC were owned by the same company. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Fox News kind of misstepped on old Orange Face this week. He was critical of Fox News this week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they kind of went at him about him forcing governors to open churches and places of worship. And he was trying to force them, and one of the Fox News talking heads disagreed with him. And then, of course, like any kid would on the playground, if you hear that somebody's talking about you around the monkey bars, then you go over to the jungle gym and you talk shit about them too. So in true Trump fashion, he lashed back out at Fox News.
Let me just hop on Twitter because I'm an adult. We've got this fucking 90-year-old dementia patient.
He will not tweet. We will know this. It will be his White House aides that will tweet for him. But Uncle Joe is not going to get on the Twitterer. Because if
true.
Uncle Joe gets on the Twitterer, you just get ready. It's going to be presidential dick pics everywhere. Because if he goes on Twitter, he's going to say, hey, this is what Twitter is all about. Dick pics. He's going to be sending out his old Uncle Joe dangle. We don't want Uncle Joe dangle. Keep Uncle Joe off the Twitter.
That's like when Ted Cruz. Remember Ted Cruz? He liked porn on Twitter, and it happened like 3 separate occasions. And we're like, "Hey Ted, we can see that, right?"
Here's the thing: even if Uncle Joe goes on and he's creepy on Twitter, it's still not going to be as worse as a guy that paid hush money to a stripper. Come on. There's anybody that gets into the White House at this point, Jake, they're going to be a star pupil because look at what they have to follow. The bar is so low. They don't even have to make an effort to get over it.
It's sad, really.
It really is, man. And this is the country we live in now.
We have a 90-year-old dementia patient. We have an 80-year-old asshole scumbag, both
Dirty
just
doo-doo.
hurling. They're just hurling fucking childlike insults at each other like they're on the fucking playground.
Can you imagine?
Well,
the
we're
debates?
all out here. We're all out here dying of fucking COVID.
Yeah.
Well, these motherfuckers who are on their deathbed anyway
Are having
are
a
just-
pissing match.
they're just they don't even give a shit.
They're having a pissing match. Can you imagine what the debates are going to be like?
What debates? They're not going to have debates because there's COVID.
They have
Are they
to
gonna
have
zoom them in?
They have to
They're
have
gonna
debates.
zoom them in?
Uncle Joe and cousin Bernie had a debate with just them and a moderator. So why can't we have debates with old Orange Face and Sleepy Joe? We have to have a debate. There has to be a presidential debate.
Well, I couldn't think of a better excuse to cover up Joe Biden's dementia than saying we can't have debates because of COVID-19.
But then that's going to give old Orange Face a slap shot into the net on social media. Orange Face will trump, pardon the pun, Orange Face will trump Uncle Joe on social media. Orange Face has cornered the market on social media. He knows how to tweet. He knows how to get the social media machine working in his favor. And if it doesn't, he just he makes a phone call to his old buddy Putin. And Putin starts to manipulate what you see on social media and what's trending and what's not.
So, couple questions. And I don't know if you have the answers, but I just want to throw these out into the universe. First question. What happens if Joe Biden is actually diagnosed with dementia right now? Do we get a redo? Do we get to pick someone else, or is Trump just the automatic winner in that case?
That's a good question, and I have no idea. And I don't think that if he was smart, he would even put himself in the position to be tested for dementia right now.
Yeah.
There would not be, even if there was a public outcry. If he put himself in a position to take a dementia test, it would go against his favor if it was true. But he's Joe Biden. He can most likely manipulate those results. But that's a very good question. What would happen? It would be dumb if he did it right now.
Question number 2 that I have for you, that you probably do not have the answer. What if Trump loses the election, but only because of the Electoral College?
So
Now,
you're saying he wins the popular vote?
let's say Trump wins the popular vote, because I have a fucking huge hankering and feeling that this guy is going to win the popular vote. Because people fucking hate Joe Biden. People hate Trump too, but at least Trump is saying something. Well, Biden is saying nonsense. Well, I guess Trump is saying nonsense too, but like,
Let me counter.
know.
Let me give you a follow-up question to your question. Do you think people hate Biden as much as they hated Hillary?
I think the hate is different.
Okay, so with that level of difference between the levels of Hillary hate and Biden hate, Biden has a greater chance than Hillary. Hillary didn't get in because of two things, in my opinion. One, people just expected her to get in. Two, people hated her. And people wanted the Clinton era over.
I'm gonna say something as well. She had a vagina. She would have had a much better chance of winning if she did not have a vagina, and that's just the truth. It's so true, man. Like, there's no reason she should not have won. Like, the only thing I can think of is she had a vagina.
Yeah. And I've always said, and I said it when she became the Democratic nominee. I said congratulations. We get Orange Face. because I don't think this country was barely comfortable enough to get a black president, and then he wasn't even fully 100% African American. Um, and I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, that this country is far, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, this country is far from having a woman leader. Far, 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 far. Look how long
Well,
it took us to get a close to black leader. It's going to take us even longer
I
to
hope
get
that's
a
not true.
woman leader.
I hope that's not true. She did win the popular vote, though. So
She
it's
did.
not that
She
it's
did
not
win
that
a popular
America
vote.
isn't ready for it. It's that the people in power are not ready for it.
That's what I'm talking
Because
about. The old
the
head, the
people
old
in
money.
the people in power are bigoted, horrible, out of touch idiots.
And they have all the money. So they
They have
control it.
Yeah, well, and it's not even that they have all the money, which they have a lot of it. It's that they're being controlled by the people who have the money, and it's just this circle of these
It's
millionaires worshiping these billionaires.
it's a
And
vicious it's a vicious circle. I agree with
it,
you 100%.
it's exactly what the news is. It's millionaire newscasters worshiping billionaires. That's all it is, constantly. On CNN, you'll see them worshiping Elon Musk, Bill Gates. On Fox News, you'll see them worshiping Donald Trump. Like, this is just, it's the same thing, different coat of paint.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't the popular vote, you know my stance on the popular vote. It sucks. Because the presidency is not they say that, get out and vote, get out and vote. It's your right. It's your right. Your right don't count. It doesn't count when it comes to the presidency. It counts when it comes to your local officials and local laws and stuff like that. But it doesn't count to the presidency. Only 275 people elect the president.
Well, and it's an outdated system,
Oh
the
yeah, it's
electoral college.
total antiquated system. Totally been around since the 1700s, and it's been broken when it was put into place.
Well, I mean, like, one of the main reasons they put the electoral college into place was because back then, it was hard to send information.
Right.
Information wasn't as well spread as it is now. So the best way they could do it was, hey, you have representatives from your district. These people know you vote for these people. These people vote for the president. So that's like part of it. That's an outdated system now. The other reason we have it, which I still, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, and then this is the argument that people make for the Electoral College constantly, is that because a state, like let's use Wyoming as an example, because a state like Wyoming has less people in it, means they have less of a say because California has such a substantial amount of people. So it's not fair to Wyoming because they have less people than California. And it's hard for me to wrap my head around that because it's still like, but there's still more people. Just because the more people are in, it should still just go off of the people, right? I don't know. It's so confusing.
You would think it would be the popular vote. There would be no electoral college. And I don't know a lot about the electoral college. I just know that those are the votes that everybody tallies. And once you get that many, when you hit that 270 or 275 mark, you win. So there's really, there are thousands upon electoral votes cast, but it doesn't take thousands to win. It takes 270 something votes. And once you hit that, you're in. You're in like Flynn, bro. You're in. So in November, we got the battle of dementia versus dictator. Dementia versus dictator 2020. I think I just designed my next political t-shirt.
And yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'll be voting for third party again. It doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter because you're not part of the electoral college. And
You
here's the
know,
thing: I'm already requesting my write-in vote. I will be voting by mail. I am not going to the polls. I have already mailed in my request for an absentee ballot, and I've already mailed in my request to stop doing this damn show looking at your fucking ceiling fan. I've already put those requests in. I will be voting by mail.
Just for you're just voting for no ceiling fan then, huh? It was
I
a total visual gag.
I am voting for no ceiling fan.
You know what frustrates me?
The fact that your ceiling fan is really huge and you look like an angel.
First issue I have, ceiling fan. If I was running for president, my stance would be no ceiling fans.
I thought your
Banned.
stance would be cell phone holders for all.
Chips in the neck.
Cell phone holders and microphone stands and pop filters for all. That's so inside. I apologize.
It's so inside. No one's listening to this anyway.
No.
You know what frustrates me though, for real? What frustrates me is when people say, don't vote third party, it's a waste of your vote. And the only reason that's a waste of your vote is because you motherfuckers keep saying it's a waste of our vote.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers keep saying it's a waste of your vote. And because you keep saying that, it is a waste of our vote. But if people just voted for who they thought was right, maybe a third party would have a shot.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it works, because motherfuckers keep saying it's a waste of your vote. It's not. First of all, our vote don't matter. Second of all, it's not a waste of your vote if everyone votes for him. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Oh,
literally.
It's so frustrating.
Literally, it is. There's a scientific explanation for when someone says something over and over and over. Like right now, you're hearing a phrase over and over and over from every media outlet, and it's called the new norm. You hear everybody saying the new norm, the new norm, the new norm. Here's the thing. Once you hear it enough times, you start to believe it. So when people say your vote is wasted on voting independent, people start to believe it. I'm a registered independent. I've gone on record to say that I have been a registered independent for many, many years now. And I often do vote independent. And I don't feel like it's a wasted vote because of the fact that that's why I vote the way that I feel.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's how everyone should vote.
And that's exactly how everyone wants to vote, but people don't vote because you know what? We're slaves to these little 5 to 7 inch little things we carry around in our pockets called cell phones. We're slave to these things that we open up with the screens and the keyboards on them. We're slave to this thing called Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, all those other social sites. We're slaves to those. We don't think individually anymore. So when the talking picture box or the blinking computer in your pocket says that your vote doesn't matter, then it must be true because we're duh. And and that is proven that we're duh because look at who's sitting in office right now. And that's politics aside. That's just because we've stopped thinking for ourselves, bruh. That's evident.
Trump, I guarantee the reason Trump won the Republican primaries to begin with was because on Fox News they love talking about him, and they put him right in the center because that's what got him the most views. That's the reason Trump won.
It's because positioning. He knows how to. He knew how to play the game.
Yeah, and CNN, MSNBC, they all helped him win. Because they talked about him more than they talked about their own primaries.
And you don't think that that's a strategy? Of course it is. Because when we go to
you know what the strategy was for that, Cory? You want to know what the strategy was?
What was
the strategy was we talk about Donald Trump we get more views. We get more views, we get more money from advertisements. That's their fucking strategy. They don't give a shit about telling you the truth.
It's simple human behavior, though. We are creatures of habit. If you are at the polls with a ballot in front of you, your mind, besides what your politics are, besides what you know or what you've heard, if you see something that is more familiar to you, like the name Donald J. Trump, you have a higher probability of subconsciously selecting that name because you've heard it everywhere. You've seen it everywhere. You probably don't know the meaning of it. You probably don't know the basis of it. You probably don't know what it's rooted in. You probably may even be pissed off at it. But because you're familiar with it, it's called the science of familiarity. Because you're familiar with it, you'll select it. McDonald's uses that theory. Subway uses that theory. It's all about mind manipulation. The more prevalent something is, that's why people say in business, you stay consistent with what you do, and people will start to flock to your business because they will become familiar with it. We're doing it. We're getting Trump elected right now by talking about him.
Hey, we talked about Biden more than Trump on this one.
Yeah, old Uncle Joe. But it's the element of familiarity, and people will go in and they will have they'll have a mind slip, and they'll think they're hitting, they'll think they're voting their conscience, but they actually end up voting their familiarity. Now, luckily, it doesn't count when it comes to the presidency, but where that does come to play is when you're a delegate or you're part of the Electoral College and you go in and you vote. Familiarity, because I guarantee you the Electoral College members are not sitting around doing studies up on the candidates right now. They're going to the parties. They're watching the news just like you and I are.
Yep. Well, Cory, I got to tell you something.
You love me?
I miss the fuck out of you, man.
Oh.
I wish we could do this show in the same room again, have some fucking scotch or something while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
Man, I miss having these conversations eye to eye, and one day it'll happen again. This is not the new norm. Fuck everyone else. This is not the new norm.
Fuck y'all. This is not the new norm. I refuse to have the new norm be me doing this show with Jake Ceiling fan. I refuse to accept that. I want to do the show eye to eye. I don't want to do the show eye to fan.
And one day I will be back into your studio.
One day.
You have multiple mics there.
Yeah.
But we prefer doing the show with me sitting on your lap talking into the same microphone. Because that's just how much we love each other.
I prefer I prefer it when we did the show with you sitting on my lap and talking about the first thing that popped up. Oh, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening and enjoying another episode of the Jake and Cory podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're getting this on iTunes, hit that subscribe and share it on your social media, along with all of your Trump and Biden rhetoric. Put a Jake and Cory podcast link in there with it as well. And we do appreciate you doing so. Yes, Jake.
And let me just add a couple more things. We're now on Spotify, I think. We're on iHeartRadio, I believe.
Yes.
Google Play, all these things. So, go find us wherever you listen to things. Also, next week, I am having a special interview with a big YouTuber named William Moranci. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about it. So
amazing good things are happening on this platform. So make sure you're subscribing so you get all of the notifications and you're always in the know. I've been Cory Blaze. That's Jake Woods for the Jake and Cory podcast. We'll see you later, bitches. I hate that.